All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting real out here. You guys saw the title of this video. So today I'm going to be talking about the rise in inflation. I'm also going to be speaking about mass layoffs because I truly feel like that may be coming down the pipeline. So we all, most of us who are working class people, we saw the news report regarding the inflation report that essentially stated that inflation actually rose to 3.2%, I believe. And it's all fine and dandy for us to have the numbers and the reports, but like, what does that mean for us? And I kind of just want to talk about that in relation to the average person. Ever since the Fed started raising interest rates, I've been hearing commentary from the higher ups, from the from the Fed, people involved in running the economy, that Americans have too much money. And as an American citizen, when I hear that, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, how can we have too much money? Do you see the cost of living? Have you been to the grocery store lately? Have you been to the car lot lately? Like, I was just at, the Nissan dealership the other day. And I walked away feeling so sad because I would like to get a new car. But it's like depressing knowing, number one, I'm going to overpay by tens of thousands of dollars. Number two, insurance is higher than, usual. Number three, the car is just going to be in a junkyard in 10 years. Probably less than that, because your neighbors don't care about your car. People at the grocery store don't care. Strangers don't care about your car. My last car got totaled in a hit and run accident. Someone hit me from behind while I was driving home from work and fled the scene. I didn't even see this person. I was lucky to walk away with my life. And what's the point in investing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a car that's just going to get messed up, damaged, beaten, whatever you want to call it? It's not of use. It just gets you from point A to point B. There's just no point in my eyes. So yes, they're saying that Americans have access to too much money. And my logical thought process behind it is that it's not that Americans have cash. It's like we have access to credit. And if you think about it, I feel like in the coming future, especially if the Fed raises interest rates, that what's going to happen is these banks are going to start rolling back credit. They're going to stop giving us access to credit. And that's going to be a nightmare for so many different people. A nightmare. I feel like banks are going to be closing. We're already starting to see these tech billionaires, sell off a lot of stock. We're seeing mass layoffs in technology as well. Like, it's just getting crazy. It's feeling crazy. And eventually, like, when one thing hits one industry, it eventually trickles down and hits other industries as well. So I just want people to get prepared for that. Like, I'm hoping and, praying that there are no mass layoffs. But I'm also moving in a way that if there is one, that I'm kind of like positioning myself to just be okay. Like my husband and I to just be okay if that takes place. I want you guys to be equally as prepared about that. One of the other comments I'm seeing a lot, and especially from CNN and these other news stations, is that people blaming the economic problems on the president, on one person. And to me, it sounds asinine, because how can you blame an entire global economy, which is where we are now, a global economy, on one person? Like, whatever state that economy is, it cannot be traced back to one person. That's impossible. Like, people really need to focus on these corporations. They really do. For the young people listening out there, you don't know about this ruling, but I remember growing up, and it was a huge ordeal for corporations to be legally viewed as people. Like, they literally passed a law that stated that corporations are people. Citizens United was the, I think the movement or the law, whatever. But it essentially stated corporations are now people. And I get why they decided to rule that way. It's because if they were not considered people, we would not be able to tax them. But the flip side of that is the government doesn't work for us anymore. It doesn't work for the average person anymore. So if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, like, I believe, I wasn't around during that time, I was born in '89, but in my heart, I feel like the government worked for y'all, like older people. It worked for y'all. It benefited you guys. But now it's like the only thing the government wants to do is help out these corporations. These corporations are behind all of the terrible circumstances in this country, and it's like I, I want people to wake up and see that. I want y'all to stop blaming the president, stop blaming these politicians because they play a role. They have a hand in it. But the puppet master, the puppet master are these corporations, is the corporation, period. So it's like we need to start coming to, I guess, coming to an agreement about what to do about these corporations and their infiltration of our political system, of our, economic system. Like, we don't want to give them too much power because we're paying the cost right now. We can't live. Super difficult to afford food, gas, just basic living expenses are getting crazy. Like my mortgage insurance, I have a home, a rental property, and I also, me and my husband, we also rent an apartment. And it's crazy that my mortgage insurance has gone up 2 times in the past, I think 2 or 3 years. So it's like I started off with the mortgage paying one amount, and all of a sudden I'm paying a few $100s more each month, and that adds up. Like, that's a lot. And where are these corporations thinking we're getting this money from? Like, if you guys hear us complain about we have no money, why do you think you have the right to just keep raising prices? Like, what is the incentive to stop corporations from raising prices? That's what y'all don't get. Is like, y'all once again blame the president, blame these like individuals about what these corporations are doing, but it's like, no, what is the incentive corporations have to stop raising prices? They have no incentive whatsoever. They're gonna keep raising prices as long as we keep eating it. And I kind of wish the government would allow the market to be free, like allow things to fail, allow these banks to fail. These banks should have failed in 2008, period. They should have let them fall. They should have, oh my gosh, I hate to say this because I truly believe government should be working for people. But I severely question the amount of public assistance we're giving out to people and organizations, nonprofits. Like, why are we giving out so much assistance? Like, if we would stop all this free money, the market could correct itself, pricing would go back to normal, and we will be okay. But the thing is, nobody wants to feel pain. And I can't blame people because we have a natural aversion to feeling pain, but nobody wants to change their lifestyle. Nobody wants to give up stuff. And that's why we keep running up a credit card bill. Man, like I said, I believe mass layoffs are coming. Excuse me, you guys. When these mass layoffs start hitting, the worst situation you can be in is have a high amount of credit card debt. I'm telling you, you may not be laid off now, but if it happens to you and your family in the future, you want to make sure you are saving money now and you are paying off credit card debt now. Take on a second job, take on a second part-time, full-time job, whatever you have to do to pay down that credit card debt, because it will eat you alive. I want to tell you guys a quick story. I do know someone who works for Microsoft, and the lady that I know that works for Microsoft, we went out to dinner. She was with her husband. I was with my husband. We're sitting down having sushi, and we started talking about the economy. We started talking about jobs, our work experience. And she looked at me and she said, "Hey, Alfred, have you ever been fired?" And I was like, man, that's kind of like a weird question. But yeah, like nonchalantly, I said, yeah, I've been fired 2 times. Like, what's the big deal? Like, people get fired, laid off every day, like, it made me stronger. It made me better. I have a business because of it. I don't trust these companies because of it. Like, I'm self-sufficient because of it. Knowing how to move and operating in reality, because I was fired and I'm not like living in la la land about these jobs and corporations, it made me stronger. It made me better. It made me more financially savvy because I had to take ownership of my finances. But it was a win for me. Like, it can't be a loss because I won. I'm still here. Like, I'm still thriving. I'm doing better than ever before, even though I'm working more. But like, I won. So that was my point to her. But she told me that she had never been fired before. And I kind of like, I left that dinner, like she was smirking about it. She was happy about it. She was just living in la la land, like a lot of people are about these jobs. And I walked away from that dinner telling my husband, like, man, this lady don't know what's going on out here. She don't know reality, and she's gonna find out. It's gonna be a rude awakening for her, because if your company is already going through multiple rounds of layoffs already, why do you think your job is safe? And when I tried to point that out to her, like, no job is safe. Like, any job can let you go for any reason at any time. She said to me, I kid you not, she said to me, well, my performance is good. I never had any performance issues, so I'm not worried about it. I said, girl, I didn't tell her this because her husband was there, and I'm not trying to throw her off, but I was like, man, like, you gotta be crazy. Like, you really think just because your performance is good, you can never be let go? Like, y'all living in la la land. Like, y'all are really out here just doing whatever. And I think life is getting so difficult, and it's going to be getting worse, that the companies in this country, excuse me, this country has to push out more entertainment content for people to consume. The dopamine hits, because we need to be constantly distracted from the realities of living, like the realities of like pricing and not making enough money and just constantly struggling to survive. We need constant distraction from that. Alcohol, drugs, YouTube, social media, whatever it is, attention, whatever it is, like we need dopamine hits to keep us surviving in this country. And that's crazy. And that's crazy. But yeah, I just want to hop on here and talk about this mass layoff that I feel like is going to come and hit a lot of industries. Oh, don't let me get started. Like, man, like if you own a home, you know how bad these repair companies are. Furnace repair people wanting to charge $500, $700 to change a thermostat. Like, plumbers wanting to charge $500 to change one pipe in one of my bathrooms. I was like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Like, y'all are losing your minds. Like, this is stupid. Like, you as a repairman, you would not even pay this amount of money for someone to fix your property or fix your items, whatever it is. So how can you look at me or talk to me on the phone with a straight face and boldly say, hey, I'll change the thermostat for you, but it's gonna cost you $700. And we're managing our rentals from out of state, so that's why we have to depend on management companies, repair people. Otherwise, I would just do it myself. But yeah, man, like life is getting crazy. It's like these people, I just want to smack these people sometimes, because it's like, how dare you think that price is reasonable? Like, what makes you think that's reasonable? Don't you also go to the grocery store? Don't you also have bills to pay and pay insurance and stuff like that? Like, why do you think, how can you charge this price and look at me with a straight face? Period. All right, you guys, happy Wednesday, and hope you have a good day. Take care and peace.